Nice.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy Farai. Thank you once again for tuning into another video, man. Shout out Notification Squad and shout out to everyone in the Discord. Check the link below to join in today's video. Also make sure to smash that like button. In today's video, we're going to be looking at my top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 favorite compressors to use specifically on male rap vocals. You can obviously use this on female rap vocals, or maybe even any other vocals for that matter. But we're really going to be looking at some unusual compressors that I like to use to really help me get a more consistent vocal sound. So if you're into that, definitely stick around. Also check the links below for my vocal recording course, vocal mixing course, as well as vocal enhancer to help you up your game and get a better sound, as well as, you know, help you become a better engineer. So if you're in that, definitely stick around. Let's hop over onto the computer, squad up. Alrighty, let's get straight into it. So as you can see right now, I've got this demo track, nothing crazy, but it is a good example of how we can utilize compression to really glue our vocals together. So I'll play the track quickly. There's not much going on, it's just a 4-bar loop, just of a track that I didn't finish or whatever, but I'll let you hear it. We've done a little bit of EQ on it, but it does really need a bit of compression to give it that color as well as to give it that consistency. So let's play it through and then we'll mess around with some compressors. Let's get it.
I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. I don't want that girl, she's too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. I don't want that girl, she's too sleazy.
Alright, so there you can go. Pretty straight, simple, you know, nice recorded vocal. Little bit of EQ going on, just a bit of a dip around 314, etc, etc, but other than that, no compression. So let's start off with just the R compressor. This is a really nice compressor to get that sound, to really just glue your vocals together, and I'll show you why I really like this compressor in a few seconds. So we'll enable it, and if we look at the layout of the compressor, you can see that we have on our far left, you'll find this is quite true for most compressors, that's why I choose this one first, is generally we're going to have the threshold, we have the attack release, which go hand in hand, and I'll talk about that in a few. We have our ratio, and then we have our output gain, and then we've got a few different kind of you know, extra characteristic modes that we can choose from to really change the character of the compressor. But to start off on the far left, our threshold is basically where our compressor is actually going to start working. It's basically the first point where, you know, based on where this is, everything else is going to act on behalf of this. So if, for example, our vocal exceeds minus 16 dB, let's just say we set it to minus 16, anything above that minus 16 threshold is going to begin to be compressed. So as you can see right here, we've got our attack, and then we've got our release. Our attack means how fast the compressor is actually going to start compressing whatever has exceeded this threshold. That's the quickest way and easiest way I can explain it. And then obviously the release would be somewhat opposite to the attack, meaning how quickly is it going to let go of that compression that it has done to anything that has exceeded this threshold. And then we've got our output gain, and that's really just going to help us get a louder signal once we have compressed the vocal. Now obviously we've got our ratio knob as well, and the ratio knob really means how much we're going to compress. So for example, if I set it to 2, you know, this means that for every and let's see if I can get this right, if I remember the textbooks correctly, but for every, so let's just say for every dB we go over minus 16, we're going to compress at a 2:1 ratio, meaning for every 2 dBs that go in, 1 will come out. So we're really halving the amount of signal that exceeds the threshold. I don't know. But to me that's always made sense. That's how I see it. You don't really need to know the technicals too much. It's rather a listening game. So we're gonna listen to our vocal right now, and then I'm going to compress it. I'm going to start off by choosing opto mode. Opto mode stands for optical compressor. It's kind of emulating a LA to a compressor, and it's really nice and slow and smooth. So we'll set a nice basic ratio. That's generally where you'd want to start. 2:1 is perfect, and then we will kind of see how loud the vocal is, and then we'll set our threshold based on that. So let's get it.
I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. I don't want that girl, she's too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy.
As you can see right there, our max peak was around minus 12. So yeah, we are right to say around minus, let's go for minus 16 as we said earlier, and then we'll start compressing there. So we should see a little bit of compression over here.
I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. I don't want that girl, she's too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. I don't want that girl, she's too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy.
And just that off the bat, I know it might be a little bit difficult to hear, so I will stretch it for you in a few just so you can really hear the compression. But this to me is a really nice compressor to just lightly compress. You can also do quite a bit of heavy compression. Leslie, who mixes Lil Uzi, I remember watching his vocal course, and he talked about how if you're not hearing the compression, that's good enough, but if you're hearing the compression, then you're compressing too much. So for me personally, this would be quite nice. Now I will over exaggerate it so you can get an idea of what the compression would sound like. I'll also adjust the attack and release first so you can kind of see how I like to set that up.
I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy.
And that's quite nice, right? You know, the very nice thing about this compressor is it is very forgiving, especially in the opto mode. I'm not going to mess around with all of these modes, but I'm guessing warm and smooth do have a different sound. ARC stands for the automatic release or something like that. It is a wave specialty thing, so we won't really worry about that, but I do like to have it engaged. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Waves R Comp, definitely a really amazing compressor to have, especially if you're a beginner. All you really need to do is set up these settings, adjust the attack to where you're feeling like it's compressing fast enough, and then I like to use a nice kind of long release. If I'm not doing that, I'm generally mirroring the attack, so it kind of, you know, works as fast as the attack in a way. So
I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy.
Now it might bounce a little bit. Obviously we have overdone the threshold, but really cool. So you know, we'll spend the most time on that one as we have right now, just so you can really see the layout. But after that, man, we have the CLA Vocals. Now we'll just turn off these for now, since we're only going to be using the compression section right here. And the reason I like this compressor is basically because it is really easy to use, right? We have 3 different types of compression, okay? Push seems to make things really loud and upfront. Spank really does overdrive the compression to give you that kind of rock, gritty sound. So this is really nice if you do have a really loud vocal that you want to really make stick out in the mix. And then we've got wall, which is pretty much going to brick wall limit the vocal. It's kind of like the sound of overcompressing a limiter. Now the cool thing about this compressor that I've kind of figured out is that when you actually drive into the plugin, you do get a certain sound. It's kind of emulating an SSL or something like that. But each compression type has a bit of a color. As you can see in the top left corner, it says compressed color. So you know, we get the different ratios, we get the different distortion values or amounts, and then we get a different sound in the end. But what I'll do is right now, it compresses by default, so this doesn't mean more compression. This is basically output volume from what I understand. But you know, that's the kind of interesting thing about these one knob compressors. You don't really know what's going on, but what I'll do is enable it, and then we'll see what we can do. I'll also overdrive the input, so let's get it.
I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist.
So as you can see right there, it does kind of bring out the higher mids of the vocal tone out quite a bit, especially since we are overdriving the plugin. I'll kind of just get it back to there. I quite liked it. But I'll return the compression back to where it was. I quite like how we are driving the input and then turning down the output. I think it does allow the compressor to be heard a lot more. So we'll switch over to the spank and then we'll listen to the difference.
I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen.
This is not really my type of compressor. It's way too colorful, as you can hear. It brings up the highs a lot more. It kind of adds this distortion thing going on to the vocal sound, especially in a beat like this where there's not much going on. So I would personally avoid something like this, but you could use this on parallel compression. Really cool. So after that, man, brick wall, you might try this at the end of your vocal chain even to really just compress your vocal and limit it. So we'll try this out as well.
I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%.
As you can see right there, I did go a bit overboard, but you know, generally that sounds quite nice. I actually really like the wall and I really like the push. Now, I'll admit I don't use this compressor all that much, but when I do, I usually add it in just to really lift the vocal up, and I'm generally on the push setting, so try it out if you like it. Great stuff. Cool. Next one is a nice little secret plugin, really unusual compressor, very strange, so I understand if you might not be a fan of using it, since it's not a traditional compressor, meaning, you know, it's just all over the place because it has these function settings right here which actually enable the compression. Very strange, but I'll kind of show you how I set it up to get a nice vocal sound. I use it once in a while on vocals that really need a bit more body to them, so it adds something really nice to it. So I'll just let you listen to I'll just set it up as we go along, and I'll tell you what I've done. So the first thing I'll do, obviously my bad, is just to set it to on. I guess this is function, turns it on. If we go the other way, we get something else. We get expansion. We don't really want that. We want this. So let's enable it.
I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad.
So obviously to date, I still don't know where the, the output knob is. You know, obviously you saw me mess with that. Since I can only use this one at a time, I'll generally have something afterwards that would just turn the volume down. But, you know, messing around with it, I love to just crank the threshold all the way down, so it's doing about 5 to 10 dB of compression. I mess around with this function knob right here, which I don't know what it does. This seems to be something like a ratio knob. I've never really gone past 1.25. Generally works for me. I don't want to add too much color to the vocal, but as you can hear right there, it does something really nice to the overall characteristic of the compress of the vocal, and yeah, really cool. So there you go.
I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist.
You know, really nice, man. So, oh well, next one. So really strange compressor. I just use it and hope things sound good. But after that, man, we've got something much more clean. This would be the Ozone. I know a lot of people using the Ozone, always asking me to review Ozone plugins, and this is something we've been using for mixing voiceovers for a long time, so definitely want to add it to the list. But the reason I like this is because, and this is the vintage compressor, not the normal Dynamics one, but the reason I like this is because it definitely is reminiscent of a vintage compressor in the way that it compresses, but it does not add too much color, character and grit to your vocal, so you can really get that vintage compression sound without too much of the kind of artifacts and things that would have been added if you had an old vintage style compressor. So I'll just kind of show you how I like to set it up. I love having it on the smooth function. I'll kind of just set up the threshold, and I usually crank the ratio, so just watch me do that. And I usually leave the auto makeup on. So
I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%.
So really cool. As you can see right there, it does give us that kind of pressure added sound to the vocal, but it is definitely not overboard, and we can really adjust it towards our sound. So we could go a lot more overboard. So let's just watch that.
I'm whipping the work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. Flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the workers.
And what's also cool is we have a sidechain, meaning that anything below the set frequency won't really affect the way that the compressor is acting. So if you really want to focus on, you know, compressing your highs or emphasize certain parts to allow the compressor to kick in, pretty cool. I definitely recommend you watch a video on adding in sidechains to your vocal. I'm guessing this is the sidechain. Seems like it, but yeah. Anyway, next one. So after that, man, we have wonderful, the good old URI or Universal Audio 1176. This is a classic. In any studio you'll find one. Right now I'm recording to something older than that, which is the LA4. I know I talk about this a lot, but if you are new to the video, as you can see, I am compressing my vocals, so we are going to get something similar added to our vocal sound if we were to record with this or to mix with this. So I'll enable it and then you'll see how I set it up. I generally don't do too much with it. If you can't get your hands on the UAD one, because I know you do need a UAD card or interface to use the UAD plugins, definitely try pick one up. I know there is the one I did pick up a while ago that was quite cheap, was the IK Multimedia. Where's IK Multimedia now? Alright, my bad, the computer or FL Studio just crashed. But yeah, man, as you can see right here, there are many different types of 1176s that you can try out. They all sound slightly different, but they all do aim to do the same thing, which is basically to give your vocal more level, but to be more upfront and to have more body. That's basically the best way I can describe 1176. You can set it up so it does do a fair amount of nice leveling, but I would generally leave that towards a different compressor. So a big trick that people have always been doing is setting up a LA2A first and then having the 1176 afterwards, and that gives you a really nice balance between kind of aggressive level style compression as opposed to the 2A, which is a lot more kind of subtle and smooth and creamy per se. So, you know, really cool. So we'll enable this and then we'll try and get that character out of the vocal. So let's do that.
I'm whipping the work, is too easy. Don't want that girl, she's too sleazy.
And the trick to this is really to make sure that the input allows for compression but not overboard, otherwise you really start to squash the vocal too much. So you'll kind of see me focus on that, and then I'll turn on the output so we don't get too much of a level difference.
I'm whipping the work, is too easy. Don't want that girl, she's too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. Flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, is too easy. Don't want that girl, she's too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. Flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, is too easy. Don't want that girl, she's too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. Flirting with me, cause I'm legit.
So that would be a nice safe amount of compression. Now what we'll do is we will just absolutely go crazy. So I'm gonna start changing the ratios. Generally each ratio has a different compression characteristics. So the cool thing about the UAD one specifically is that you can hold in shift and then actually hold in two different buttons, which I'm pretty sure is possible on the original units. This one has a kind of ratio selector, so you can't really do that, but pretty cool, right? So we can actually, instead of getting a 12 ratio, we could say 8+4, which will also give us 12, but it'll definitely change the character of the vocals. So let's mess around with that.
I'm whipping the work, is too easy. Don't want that girl, she's too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. Flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, is too easy. Don't want that girl, she's too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. Flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, is too easy. Don't want that girl, she's too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. Flirting with me, cause I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, is too easy. Don't want that girl, she's too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. Flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping the work, is too easy. Don't want that girl, she's too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy.
But as you can see right there, we could sit here for years thinking of many different possibilities and different sounds to come up with. You know, I highly recommend you go and watch a video on how to set up the attack and release. From what I understand, the closer you get to 7, the faster the attack gets. So 1 actually means slowest attack. You know, same on this side, slowest attack and release, fastest attack and release. And the trick has always been to go for 3 and 5. So 11 o'clock. Is it 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock is going to be the kind of perfect setting. I generally stick to 4. I'll go for 8. I'll go for 12. Maybe I'll go for, you know, 8 plus 4. Many different variables. I highly recommend you try any of them that you can get your hands on. The Waves one is also amazing. Definitely check it out. So yeah, man, after that, man, here's some cool bonus right here, which would be the KORG MDE-X. Now, as you can see, I am using them on the vocal themselves just to give the vocal a little bit of, you know, kind of space. I quite like doing that. And this is an amazing plugin for that Japanese company, KORG. Really cool. And they have a whole bunch of different things going on within the plugin itself. So you've got a whole bunch of reverbs algorithms, you've got a whole bunch of delay algorithms, you've got a whole bunch of flanger, and then a whole bunch of compression algorithms, which we'll be focusing on. But generally all the compressors are the same. I think just the mastering comp is a limiter or something like that, and the stereo comp as well. Really cool. And then ultra boost and limiter and that kind of stuff. You get some really nice flavors going. But we'll kind of stick to the compressor. And the reason I want to talk to you about this compressor is, or this plugin in general, is that if you can't afford too much stuff, like if you were thinking, hey, I need to go on waves.com and buy a whole bunch of plugins, you could also just start off with this. I think this plugin goes for around 20 bucks on the KORG store, and you just get so much stuff. So that's why I wanted to add this in. But really cool plugin. They're definitely not ever going to enhance the GUI size. It is what it is, but they have updated the algorithm. So I think I'm running the latest one, and it's amazing. So I'll just enable it, and then we can see what sounds we can get. So let's do that.
I'm whipping her work, it's too easy. I don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping her work, it's too easy. I don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping her work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping her work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet.
As you can see right there, such a crystal clear sounding compressor. Amazing. You can definitely take it overboard. I'll show you the limiter as well. But just amazing, man. I mean, the algorithm that went into this plugin, top notch. And it is a very old plugin, by the way. So really cool underground plugin. So just for the fun's sake, I will open up the that hard limiter is crazy. Let's go for the analog limiter, and then I'll just show you what that sounds like.
I'm whipping her work, it's too easy. I don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit. I'm down for the squad, 100%. I think that I'm thug, I might hop on the jet. I'm whipping her work, it's too easy. Don't want that girl, she too sleazy. I work till the morning, I'm sleepy. You wanna get rich, don't be greedy. I'm in the kitchen, I'm whipping my wrist. She flirting with me, cause I'm legit.
There you go. That was a fly. Anyway, so you get the idea, man. If you want flavor and color, you can also use a compressor for that. But anyway, those are all my options, man. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something. Definitely ask questions below in the comments. Check the links in the description to purchase a template. As you can see, I am using my template format. I've got many different videos that cover many different styles of rap vocal mix, specifically some R&B stuff and that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, hopefully you have a great day and a great week. I'll check out next time. Stay well and stay safe. Peace out.